Welcome back to Money Matters. I'm David Crowell from Mortgage Network, and this is Emily Johnson from Polaris Capital. We're back. We still have a little bit of immediate and present and breaking news. So why don't you lead with that?
Sure. What we were talking about in the first half of the show, just touching on it or repeating ourselves a little bit, is inflation, deflation, why we're not really seeing that sort of economic growth, why we're not seeing a whole lot of inflation. Of course, a lot of inflation that people look at is food inflation and what the cost of food is, because that, of course, is a major player and it impacts our pocketbooks every single week. And we just heard that Amazon just purchased Whole Foods, and that might not sound all that interesting to you out there, but if you look at the impact that Amazon has had on the entire retail sector, and then you look at what this could mean for the food sector, number one, first you're seeing pretty much every grocery store stock is plummeting based on this news, including Walmart. That's number one. Number two, think about the food inflation that we see in our normal way that groceries are delivered, picked up. I mean, just every single thing that's involved with the food system. If you look at how Amazon could actually interrupt that or disrupt that, it could definitely lead to a little bit even less food inflation or food deflation, which would be very, very interesting.
Very helpful.
It'd be very helpful and very interesting. So, yes, yeah. I mean, Amazon has been just such a massive game changer across the board. You know, they already announced that they wanted to get into pharmaceuticals, and you saw the CVS's and the Walmarts, I'm sorry, the Walgreens of the world take a hit as a result of that. Exactly. Yeah, like, oh no, please don't come to me.
Yeah,
so every sector that Amazon enters is definitely feeling the impact, feeling the blow more than anything. And this is really interesting for what it's going to mean to food distribution and grocery stores and grocery store chains, all the stocks that are associated. Really very interesting.
Very interesting. We're hoping that Amazon doesn't decide to go into the mortgage business.
But they could go into the real estate business and buy Zillow or something along that line.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Reported last week was that Jeff Bezos, who is the one of the founders or the founder and the CEO of Amazon, is about to become the richest man in the world. His net worth is estimated at $80 billion.
Give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take.
And this is, of course, not money that he's got in the bank, but this represents the value of his holdings in Amazon. When you hear these huge numbers, that's what it represents. I mean, his actual holdings that are his, that are in the form of cash and houses and things are maybe 2 or 3 or 4 billion, but the value of his Amazon stock is enormous, just enormous. The food sector has always been regarded as one of the least efficient delivery systems, and most of the cost of the food is in the delivery system.
And there's been a lot of consolidation, and just around here we see it. But there's been a lot of consolidation in the various chains.
But it's a huge part of the economy, and it's very interesting that Amazon has done this. Just a short time ago, over the last year, but growing fast, the biggest move by German investors has been a German chain of supermarkets, German-owned chain of supermarkets. Name eludes me at the moment. It's called Lido or Lipo or some such thing. Yeah, right.
Yes, it's not the IPA. What is that? I can't remember.
No, but it's but they are making a massive move in the United States. The United States is a huge market, making a massive move, and it's obviously with the same business plan as Amazon, which is efficiency of the delivery system to the American household.
Well, when you think about how frequently you use Amazon, I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm toilet paper, paper towels, pretty much anything that I can just push a button and know that it's going to be there the next day. And of course, you have Amazon Pantry right now already, where you sort of have your basket of goods that come on a regular basis. If you start adding your standard food to that, I mean, I know plenty of my friends who they order their groceries from Harris Teeter and they just go pick it up because it's so much easier for them to do that. They can apply coupons. They don't have to walk through the aisles with their kids. You know, what if you take that one more level where you don't even have to drive up to Harris Teeter? You actually, you can just sit at home, get your big box, know that you're applying your coupons, know that you're only buying what you actually need to buy, as opposed to walking through and saying, oh, you know, there's a lot. This is going to have a big impact on a lot of. It could even have a lot of impact on sectors like consumer goods.
And the big profit comes in private branding. So in home store branding. So if Amazon developed a following, which it would very quickly because it has such a massive following already, the moment that it's got its following intact, then it simply starts substituting Amazon baked beans, Amazon private label this, that, and the other. That's where the profits get raked in.
It's interesting.
Amazing.
I mean, we haven't really had much time to absorb a lot of the financials around this this acquisition. But it's interesting that they would step in and buy Whole Foods, with Whole Foods being sort of the premium brand, as opposed to, and you wonder about the efficiencies. I mean, Whole Foods stock. I mean, obviously, Whole Foods stock was probably the cheapest for them to get right now because Whole Foods has not been performing all that well. It does give them a toe into the market, but it's not been a high performing stock in the last little while. But it's also that premium brand. So it's just interesting dynamics. So obviously they got it at a good price, and I'm sure Whole Foods. I'm just curious what sort of a premium they actually paid for it, but we'll see, I guess, when the show's over. But it's just very, very interesting, and this is something that will impact your pocketbook for sure.
Absolutely. Amazon, Google.
And I certainly am going to be going back to the office and taking a look at even our blue chip stocks and the consumer product and consumer sectors that we have to see what's going on there.
It's an amazing.
Walmart was trying.
Amazing performance. One of my clients this week who was applying for a mortgage had a modest 401k when I last did business with her. The 401k she's middle-aged, been working hard for 15 or 16 years, had approximately $70,000 or $80,000 in her 401k when I last did business with her, which was about 5 or 6 years ago. She has $400,000 in her 401k.
Wow.
This is a lead-in to what Emily does and how she does it. What she did was, without the assistance of a financial advisor, she put all her money into Amazon and Google.
In her 401k?
In her 401k.
She could do that?
Well,
that's interesting.
It was a self-directed 401k.
Oh, okay.
And she put all the money. No, excuse me.
Go big or go home.
I lied. It was a 401k that had been converted into an IRA.
Oh, okay.
So she was able to do it.
Okay.
That's not what we do here. But
that would not be recommended, but I'm really happy it worked out for her.
But the topic is Amazon, and these two business models, Google's business model and as a information delivery system or an information technology company, and Amazon as a delivery system for basically any product in the world. These two business models are very powerful.
They're the biggest disruptors for sure of that and perhaps Uber, which is another.
Uber.
They've been controlling a lot of the news recently.
Right.
So.
Right. Airbnb controls more of the for-pay housing in the world without owning a single unit than anyone else.
And I know more and more people, especially this summer, that are using Airbnb when they're going to Europe, going on vacation, wherever they're going. It's definitely disrupting.
And Uber owns more of the market for pay, automobile rental, and for pay automobiles than anybody else in the world, and owns not one vehicle. So these business models are incredibly disruptive.
But and they've been able to thrive in this kind of, getting back to our economic theme. Like, they've been able to thrive in this kind of economy because money is cheap, and cheaper, and there's really no other disruptors. I mean, we were concerned about the lack of visibility, and still concerned about the lack of visibility. When you hear CEO polls where they feel like there's not a whole lot of visibility on interest rates, they don't know what their economic scene is going to look like. They were screaming that from the towers previously. You're not hearing as much about that anymore because it's almost, there's just that sense of malaise of, well, we don't know, but we kind of know it, and it ain't going anywhere fast. So, but these companies that are the disruptors are really able to take advantage of that.
They're able to take advantage.
Right.
And traditional businesses like our mortgage business, like your financial advisory and financial planning business, where we are is we basically reflect the economy. Both of our businesses are in a very stable spot at the moment. Stability means that that we're able to deliver the goods, the services, the mortgages, the financial planning that we need to do. But when the market is flat and stable, our businesses reflect exactly the same stability.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, it's been a very interesting time to be in the financial planning business, because you do see a little bit of stability, but you're not seeing the interest rates and the yields that we've had in the past. So you're having to make some different assumptions. It's definitely interesting.
It's really great to see you. We'll be back next week. Emily Johnson, David Crowell.
Have a great week.
Bye.